We've spoken about user adoption in many of our other videos, and this has been mainly about school strategy and senior leadership. In this video, we're taking a slightly different approach, and we're looking at how your staff can improve user adoption using the MIE program. So we've got Elaine Topham on the video today. So hi, Elaine. Thank you for joining us. So you're the Senior Learning Technologist at Grimsby Institute. So I don't know if you want to give us a bit of an introduction, a background about what it is that you do, how you got into education and technology, and what your current role is.
Okay, so I've always been quite interested in technology. However, I didn't have the best start at school. I left school at 15 with no qualifications, so it was quite difficult getting into work. And then I managed to get myself onto a work placement at the Grimsby College in 2001, and that was supporting and installing IT. So I worked with the IT support technicians and went around and installed computers around the college. But another part of that role was actually to support students who were studying level 1 and level 2 basic IT qualifications. And it was during that time that actually somebody mentioned to me and said, have you ever thought about teaching? And obviously, given my start in life, I'd never thought about actually being a teacher myself. It was something that I thought, me teaching? But I did actually go on from that and become a casual lecturer in HE. So I knew a bit of Java programming and some systems requirements things. So I kind of taught a bit in HE, a bit of database. And then in 2008, I went to work in the community learning centres where I was again supporting level 1 and level 2 IT qualifications. Really enjoyed that because it gave me the opportunity to connect with people in the community who perhaps had never used digital before. And I had students that had grandchildren in Australia and they would make Christmas cards and use mail merge to write envelopes at Christmas and things like that. So it was a really rewarding job. And then in 2010, I came to the Grimsby Institute as it is now, and I worked as a lecturer, teacher, tutor type person, teaching, again, IT functional skills. And I lasted about 5 years in that job, and then the vacancy for senior learning technologist at the time came up. So I felt that perhaps my skills were better suited to supporting teachers, and I felt that I'd have more impact with students as well if I could support the teachers with technology. So my role now as Senior Learning Technologist involves overseeing the work that the Innovate team does. So we have a couple of other learning technologists. We administer the VLE. We ensure all our staff have the training and support that they need. That includes our business support staff. So we deliver the Microsoft Office specialist qualifications as well. So we're quite busy, but our main goal is to make sure that our staff at Grimsby are well supported and that they can meet the demands of digital that we have for them.
So you come from a bit of a technology background before you went into sort of teaching and training the trainers. How do you find it sort of differs when you speak to teachers who aren't from that background? How easy is it to connect with them and sort of introduce them to the technology concepts that you're trying to introduce at the college?
Yeah, I think a lot of them don't necessarily see it as part of the role to start off with. So I work with construction, childcare tutors, things like that. And I often hear, it's not my job to teach them digital, or are you going to come into my class and teach them how to use, Sway? And I'm like, well, there's 8,000 students, so probably not. And that's one of the things we have to try and get across to them, is it's part of every tutor's job to support students with the digital. And so really it is quite difficult. It depends what area they come from as well. Some of the areas are a little bit more digital than others, but particularly with your construction areas and areas that perhaps don't use that much IT in industry, they use it less. So it's really quite difficult actually getting across to them and getting them to engage with a new tool.
So I can see you're wearing the MIE Expert badge, or quite a few badges actually. So how did you become an MIE Expert, and actually what is one?
Yeah, that's fine. So an MIE expert really is someone that's nominated themselves to Microsoft to join the community of educators that work with Office 365 tools. You can self-nominate at any time throughout the year, but every year the cohort of MIE Experts is announced in late August. It's a global programme, so you get to meet MIE Experts from around the world. And it is really just a case of just showcasing what you do with Office 365 tools. How I got involved with it was quite a funny one, really. I hadn't actually heard of the MIE Expert programme. I've always used Microsoft tools and products and absolutely love everything Microsoft. But about 3 years ago, my manager actually said to me, well, you like Microsoft, so I want you to become an MIE expert. I asked him what that was, and he didn't really know. So
It sounds cool.
Yeah, he was like, just go
Yeah.
do it. It's be an MIE expert, go be an MIE expert, and then we can, I can put down that you're an MIE expert. I went off and looked into it and then found out that you actually had to apply. So I came back and said, well, I'm not sure I can do it. I've got to apply and be accepted. So I put a lot of effort into my application because I was like, oh, I really want to be accepted. I want them to see all the wonderful things that I do. And so I talked about the way that I support tutors and the different opportunities we try and bring in. Made a video my first year. I found that really difficult, though, keeping a video in 3 minutes. So subsequent years, I've put sway presentations in. We could put more content in then. And so I applied in, it would have been 2016, 2017, I can't remember exactly, and I was accepted. So that was my first year as an MIE, and I've gone on and reapplied every year now, and I've been in there 4 years.
So it's a bit like a portfolio of evidence that you have to give as part of your application.
Yeah, so you get asked a set of questions, really, and the questions revolve around why you feel that you're a Microsoft Innovative Educator, what tools do you use in the classroom, how have you shared your knowledge and expertise beyond the classroom. So it's really about building a community of educators that are willing to share good practice and learn from each other. And I think, that's one of the main things that I've enjoyed about being in the community is the other MIE experts in there.
So actually being in that community, what benefits have you found? You mentioned that obviously you get to speak to other MIE experts, but what are some of the key benefits to people looking to join the program?
So, obviously it's the MIE expert. So we have a connection call where we have a Microsoft team that's set up, and every month we have a connection call with the MIE experts. On those calls, we'll get product demos and we'll get to see early releases of things that haven't yet come out. So Mike Tholston might come onto the call and show us a new feature in OneNote and be like, shh, don't tell anyone. And what's your feedback on this new thing, and will you use it with your students? And so we actually get to kind of guide really the development of the products and sort of let Microsoft know what works for us, what doesn't work for us, what we want to see next. So they're the connection calls, but also you get to attend in-person events. The last 3 years, actually, I've presented at BET for Microsoft, so get invited to present stories from your own organisation. So this year I presented Microsoft Teams and how we've been using that for staff development on the Learn Live theatre, which was amazing. It was such a huge theatre right at the entrance, and for someone from Grimsby to be stood on that kind of stage is actually, really, really quite impressive from my point of view. Anyway, I was impressed to be there and to have been invited to have gone and shared our story. So that was really good. You get real good experience of actually working with other organisations and things like that, and collaboration projects. The team, you can actually message other people, you can message them for support. I was recently setting up a Surface Hub and I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing with it. It's quite an expensive bit of kit, and I'm quite buttons, I just press buttons, but with such an expensive thing I was like, oh, I'll maybe ask people for their experience, and 2 very experienced members of the community came back with lots of tips for me. So You know, the advice that you get and the support that you receive from people that sometimes you've never even actually met face to face. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, great. And what about sort of the benefits to your school or college if you have got people in the school who have become like MIE experts?
Yeah, so from my point of view, I don't really get trained within my organisation. So I am the trainer. So I go around and I train people and basically the way that I get the knowledge that I bring back to the organisation means that actually keeping up to date with skills and things like that, it's really important for me. So the organisation benefits by me being up to date. In terms of teachers, if they engage with the Microsoft Educator community, then they can bring collaborative experiences in for the students and perhaps connects up their classrooms with other classrooms across the world. So.
Yeah, because I guess if you're going on a training course, it's probably going to be 2 years out of date. Office 365 moves so quickly; it's hard to be on sort of the cusp of that technology as it's released.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's fine going off and doing a course and learning things like that, but it's not actually the current. What's actually coming next? Where are we going with this tool? So being able to bring that back into the organisation and to say to people in training when they say to me, oh, I wish it would do this, or this, I wish this would really do that, and I'm then able to say to them, well, maybe it will. Wink, wink. Obviously not disclosing anything, but it's a nice thing to be able to feel informed and to come back to the organisation with that knowledge. So good.
So what's your highlights then from being in the MIE community?
Well.
What's be your favourite bits?
There is definitely a favourite bit. So last year I actually applied for E2. So every year Microsoft invite the MIE experts to apply to go to their Educator Exchange, which is a global event where over 100 countries take part and they choose educators from the MIE Expert programme to go to the Educator Exchange and to take part in challenges, so educator challenges. So last year I was picked one of 6 in the UK, and that was really, really good. I got to meet some of the MIE experts from the UK that I'd never met before. I got to meet MIE experts that I knew from Twitter, and we all got sent to Paris.
Wow.
So yeah, we went to Paris, all of us together. It was really nice. And then we got split up into teams. We had to do some challenges. We got put on coaches to go around with the Flipgrid team and do social challenges. And we were worked quite hard. We had to submit challenges and meet deadlines and quite a lot of work, but our team actually won. So we won the overall prize at E2 last year, which was really quite a surprise because we were all HE as well. So we genuinely didn't think that we had much chance because most of the other educators were sort of school, primary, secondary, and we kind of did our own thing with the brief because it didn't really fit with what we do. So we were sort of like, well, we'll do it HE and we'll do it for teachers and we'll see how that goes, and that's the best we can do. And then to find out that we'd won was really quite amazing. So, and that was really life-changing, that experience. There's connections that I made there that I've continued, and it's just epic, the effect it has on you when you come back, your passion and enthusiasm for what you do. It's amazing.
So for everybody else who finds that, that sounds like quite an exciting experience and, something other people might want to do, is there a limit to how many MIE experts an organisation can have? Can they help other people in their organisation become one too?
Yeah. So there's no limit to the number of MIE experts that obviously an organisation can have. Anyone's free to apply. And of course you can help other people. So I'm often helping people. People will reach out to me on Twitter and share their, what they're planning to do. I actually helped another MIE expert this year who was thinking about applying for E2. and she was in the same sort of position as me, thought she wouldn't be considered because she's not quite the standard teacher. I shared my application I put in last year, and I said, go for it. I said, you don't know if you don't apply. And she's actually been selected, so she's going to Sydney this year. So amazing opportunity. I'm always helping other MIEs here at the organisation to apply to be an MIE expert, because I think the more people in the community, the more wealth of knowledge is there, and the more that we can all get from it. So, you know, it's really important that if people are interested in digital, if they want to get more from the community, then, you know, to join up. And it's not something that if you use Google or any other tools that you can't become an MIE expert. You know, it's just showing that you use Office tools as well, and things like that.
Okay, great. So how do people apply then? What's sort of the first steps? Where do they go?
So the link at the moment isn't actually on the Microsoft Educator Centre, because they're currently going through a whole set of changes on it. I'm just trying to find the link for you, but I probably can't find it on here. But basically there's information that should be on the Educator Centre, and it will be getting put up on there soon, about how to apply for the programme. And you basically sign up, and there's a link that will take you off to a website. And then you just have to submit your Sway link, so it's an online form. If I can find the link for you, Tony, I'll send it on to you.
Yeah, well, once we get the link anyway, we'll put it in the notes so people can have a look and see if they want to apply themselves.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm getting there. It's just because it's not on the site at the moment. Microsoft have said that it should all be sorted by the end of Feb anyways, for the information to be up on the Educator Centre. But it's had a bit of an overhaul, so they've made better learning paths, and the courses are a little bit more streamlined, so they work better on mobiles and things like that. So it's an upgrade for the better. It's just at the minute because it's in.
It's worth waiting for, but we'll have to we'll have to wait for it. Okay, great. So when we have that link, I'll make sure it goes in the notes, and people can see where they can click on it to apply.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Elaine. It's been really interesting. Great to hear the really exciting stuff that you do as part of the MIE program. And yeah, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay.